Okay.
This is another Oriental hornbeam, which was collected in Croatia a few years ago, quite a few years, probably 10 years ago. And that's a historical tree because that was the first real good tree that I remember that you had. It was looking very different. It was a multi-trunk. Here, where you have this hole here, there was another trunk and maybe another one, and that was a huge multi-trunk tree, and now it only has two trunks. Well, the truth is that the tree has designed itself for reasons that I don't know. Half of the tree died, which is usually a disaster, and sometimes it's hopeless and you almost can discard the tree. And I remember seeing this tree, and it was so sad after this was your fabulous first good tree, and now it was ruined. And many years later, like 8 years later, which is a long time for most people, not in bonsai though, 8 or so years later, or 10 years later even, it looks pretty cool again. Now this is, as you say, it's a very wild tree. Hey, you see all these holes and all these big scars and this rugged sort of growth and the bark. I think this is a fabulous example of the fairy tale bonsai style. Now, many people have heard about that and read about it, and they know that Walter Pall invented style. They know that. Here in the presence of Mr. Sebastian Sandev, I must admit that the following happened many years ago. Sebastian came up to me after a glass of wine or two or three and said, "Walter, do you realize that our trees are getting wilder and wilder all the time? I have the strange feeling they're getting to become something else. I have quite a few children, and they have all these fairy tale books, and I have the feeling these are looking more like the trees in their fairy tale books." Walter, I think it should be called fairy tale style. Now, if I, Sebastian Sandev, go to the world and say I've invented fairy tale bonsai style, they will laugh about me. Why don't you do that? And so I did. Okay, thank you, Sebastian, for letting me use that name. Okay, so I think this is a wonderful example. Now, this doesn't know what a bonsai is. He doesn't want to know. He sits there in this Croatian forest. He owns that forest. He cannot read nor write. He doesn't wash well, okay? You don't go too close to him. However, he's a character. And he sits there, and he's powerful, and the animals live there, and the moss creeps up, and he's just a wild, very old, fantastic tree. And you are not, please, going to tame that tree, because you even enhance that wild feeling. And then it's that kind of tree that's in the fairy tale books that children love and are afraid at the same time. So this is this frightening old tree, which, however, is very natural, but it's so wild that it becomes a bit more than natural. I would even call it grotesque in a positive sense. It is exaggerating. It's fat, it's too fat. It's wild, it's too wild. It has holes. Now what we do, if we have an ugly hole, we make it uglier, we make it bigger. No, really, it's not a joke. That's what we do. And the result is this. After many years, I'm really liking this. Thank you, Sebastian, for having done this with this. This was a ruin. This tree was done. Okay, and you have rescued it again. I think it's better ever than it than you started out with. The only thing is that now with this enormous fat tree, I'm afraid this pot is slightly too shallow. Now you see, horticulturally, it's very amazing that a fat tree like that can be in a small pot like that, which is okay. So this will grow. But artistically, I would like to see a deeper pot. This maybe a bit longer on this side. So that's, it can be glazed, it can be rough. That doesn't matter. probably not on a slab. Not everything should go on a slab. While I'm now in the Stone Age, I put everything on slab. But that's just a period. Okay, after 20 years or so, that will be gone. Don't you worry about that. Okay, so what to do with this? Well, maybe find a deeper pot and then do nothing. Enhance ramification still, and yeah.
I just wanted you to see one of our first trees, and now it just settled itself in this form. The tree just removed everything from itself that was too much, died, just let it die off, and now it's stable for a few years like this.
Now, I'm really moved because somehow it seems like very recently, I mean, was not that last year or so? No, it was 13 years ago that we styled that tree down in Castella. 2008 in Castella at the Mediterranean Sea, totally different climate. Palm trees grow on the shores. This is where we styled that, and you were so excited about having a workshop for water pall and having this huge tree, the biggest in the room.
Wait, I'm always excited.
Yes, thank you very much. And I remember that so well, and I said, oh, wow, what a monster tree. Woo. Okay, who wants a tree as big as that? Now, the tree has totally restyled itself, and now it's even better. So we have come a long way together, the two of us, the three of us, and the tree.
Yeah.
How nice is that?